I just got off the phone with the post office this morning. I ordered a book from Seth Godin because, well, I love Seth Godin, so I ordered one of his books, but I just got off the phone with the post office, and they think they might have sent it to the wrong address, so that should be fun. This morning, I am going to the doctor. That means that I can't make coffee, and so my morning is going to have to start off really in the afternoon. So,
are you calling?
No, I'm not calling anybody. I'm making a video.
A video?
I have to get a fasting blood test, so they're going to work over my cholesterol, my blood sugar. My cholesterol has been really high, so hopefully we're going to figure out how to address that without having to get on medication. I've been trying to do some things a little bit differently. I've been eating a lot more olive oil and a lot less saturated fat, so I'm hoping that that will kind of show in the blood test, because otherwise I'm skipping my coffee just to get really bad news.
Well, let me bust a freestyle then.
You're literally using just the image quality.
You want to say, Lilo?
Superb, I think. And to see some of the samples. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave the camera here in the car because some medical establishments kind of frown on people walking around with cameras.
Oh, the cameras.
So we're going to leave the camera here, and I'm going to go inside and find out if I have been doing good over the last couple of months or not. Should be interesting, and a little bit nervous, a little bit excited.
Excited.
Yeah. A little bit worried that Leela is going to go off on a bender.
Yeah, Bender is great, Daddy.
No, benders aren't great. We don't want to do that.
Yes. No, I want to.
You ready to go see the doctor?
Yes.
Okay. So I actually didn't get any numbers back today because the blood test is going to have to be postponed for another week. So that means more waiting and wondering about what is happening with my cholesterol. In the meantime, I'm going to go home and have some coffee now because I'm ready for that. So one nice thing that I found out today is that my blood sugar has been an average of like 103 over the last month, and an average deviation of 23. So that means that my blood sugar has been basically between 80 and 120 almost all of the time, statistically. So that's one of the reasons why it's really tough for me to think about giving up the ketogenic diet in order to bring my cholesterol down, because cholesterol doesn't really affect me on a day-to-day level, whereas having blood sugar that's consistently between 80 and 120, that's something that has a huge benefit to me on a day-to-day level, where I'm not having to worry about what's going on with fluctuations and swings. So right now my plan is just to kind of keep doing what I'm doing. I've tried to cut out some saturated fat, eat more olive oil, more fish, but at the end of the day, if I have to pick cholesterol or blood sugar as the priority in terms of how I'm going to direct my life, I'm going to focus on keeping my blood sugar stable, because if my blood sugar is stable, I can go out and take pictures, I can go out and climb, and I can do the things that matter to me. Whereas cholesterol is something that, having good cholesterol isn't necessarily going to make the difference between whether or not I can go out and go climbing for a weekend or climb El Capitan without having to worry about my blood sugar cratering on me. And that's a pretty big thing. Olive oil in the coffee, huh? Well, it sounds gross, but honestly this is a really easy way to get more unsaturated fat in my diet. And the trick is, if you put it in the blender, it makes all the difference because it smooths everything out, makes everything super creamy and delicious. And honestly, you can't really taste it. I think it's worth trying. And I've been substituting olive oil for coconut oil in my coffee for the last almost month or so. And I'm excited to see what happens as a result. I don't know if this is going to be the magic bullet in terms of my cholesterol, but it certainly is a good and easy way to get a lot more unsaturated fat. Yeah, we're going to change your diaper and then we're going to take a nap.
Stop. No.
I'm up. So I think I got Lilo down for a nap. I'm going to go check the mail and see if they found my book, because that would be pretty sweet if they did. Then I'm going to come back and record a podcast about the modified ketogenic diet that I am using that is prompting me to put all this olive oil in my coffee. If you want to listen to that podcast, it's on iTunes. Just search for AdventureRx. And nothing. Absolute Bush League Podcasting Incorporated. That's what we do here. But beggars cannot be choosers. And I am that beggar. So, live from my mother-in-law's closet, it's the AdventureRx podcast. Check us out on iTunes because it sounds better than it looks. I promise, it does. You know, this is all part of the creative process that goes with adventure and sharing adventures, because it's not as limited as just being outside in the wilderness somewhere. A lot of it has to do with being able to make the best out of the surroundings that you're forced to work with. And sometimes that means smaller spaces, less than ideal equipment, and setups that are limiting. But when you get to the point where you're comfortable using them and you're able to make do with it, you can still create really useful stories out of all of this stuff. And that's really my goal with everything that I'm doing here, is to be able to say, let's go on an adventure and then let's make something out of it. Because just going on an adventure is really only half the battle. The real value comes after the fact, right? Like when you have time to think and reflect, and what better way to do that than by creating something that you can turn around and share with other people. You don't have to have $1 million studio. You don't have to be a professional photographer. You don't have to be Casey Neistat to know what it is that you want to communicate to other people and to say, hey, this is something that we can do today. What is this? Oh man, I just heard the doorbell ring, and I had completely given up on them finding this because the post office told me that it was delivered to the wrong place and there was nothing that they could do. And apparently one of my neighbors got it and he just dropped it off here at 8:45, and now this is an awesome way to end the day. What to Do When It's Your Turn by Seth Godin.